In this tutorial, we will be showing you how to make and set up an NFT Discord server. To make the setup process easier, we have created a server template. The template has all of the roles and server permissions set up for you. To use the template, simply click the link we provided in the description. Use the top box to give your server a name. Click Create. Your Discord server will now be created. Next, we need to get a few things organized to make the following steps easier. Open a Note app or some type of text document that you can save. We will be putting important server information and links here. I'll be using Notepad. Now we need to turn on developer mode. Open the Discord user settings by clicking the gear icon. Select the advanced settings from the side panel. Enable developer mode, then close. Next, we will be setting up the basic server settings. Click on the server title. Open the server settings. Click Upload Image. Locate and open the image you want to use for the server profile. This is the image displayed for the server in the Discord side panel. Scale the image using the bottom slider. Apply when you are happy. Set the inactive channel to the AFK voice channel. Use the drop menu on the right to set how long someone needs to be inactive for them to be moved to the AFK channel. 5 minutes is usually best. Scroll down to the System Messages heading. We recommend either turning off all system messages or only enabling the Send a Message when someone boosts this server option. Select the drop menu and choose the channel you want the messages in. Usually, the general chat would be used for this. Finally, you will need to set the notification settings for your members. All messages will send a notification whenever a message is sent in the server. Only mentions will send server members a notification when they are mentioned in a message. This includes their roles. We recommend setting this to only mentions to prevent your server members from becoming irritated. Save changes. Switch to the Roles tab from the side. Here you will see all of the roles that we have already set up. The role order is a hierarchy. This means that despite permissions, a user can't make changes to anyone with a role higher up than theirs. The admin role is the most powerful role in the server. The administrator role gives permissions to do anything in the server, including kick and ban members. Admins can also add bots to the server and make overall changes to the server. Only the owner should ever have this role. Next, we have the server moderators. Moderators have the ability to change server nicknames, delete messages, and timeout members. Only people you absolutely trust should be given the moderator role. The bot role is only for bots. This role should only be given to bots and not people. The developer and artist roles are for the users that help to create the NFT project. These roles don't give any special permissions other than giving access to staff channels and other additional channels. The VIP role is for special server guests. You can choose who will receive this role based on your own preference. However, this would typically be reserved for long-time owners and supporters of your NFT project. This can also be considered an OG role. Next, we have the booster role. Discord members can boost the server to give it more features. The booster role is automatically created by Discord the first time a user boots the server. We have this here as a placeholder and will be showing you how to set up the booster role later in the tutorial. The muted role is given by moderators and bots as an act of punishment to server members. When a user has the muted role, they won't be able to talk in text or voice channels. However, they will still be able to read messages. Finally, we have the unused and member roles. The member role is the default role that server users will have. It grants basic permissions for the server and gives access to the public channels in the server. The unused roles are set up exactly the same as the member's role and are only included in case you ever want to add a vanity role to your server in the future. If you are giving one of these roles to someone, then we recommend letting them keep the standard member role as well. We recommend customizing the roles to personalize them to your NFT project. Click on a role to edit. Select the name box and give the role a personalized name. Change the color of the role. This is the color a user's name will be when they have this role. There are a number of preset colors to choose from. Alternatively, click the eyedropper button to select a color of your choosing. Use the bottom slider to select the color you want to use for the role. Click and drag on the top palette to select an exact color tone for your role. If you have a color code, you can paste that in the box below to select it. Click Off to confirm your new color. Scroll down and you will see two options that you may want to change. Display role members separately will show users with this role separately on the server member list. The Allow anyone to mention this role option will allow members to tag the role. This might be helpful to alert moderators of rule breakers. However, this feature may also be abused. Save changes. To adjust role permissions, switch to the Permissions tab at the top. For a moderator role, you may want to enable the ability to kick or ban members. However, we strongly recommend only allowing moderators to time out members. If the offense is serious, the moderator can give a lengthy timeout and allow one of the owners to ban the user at a later time. Giving moderators permission to kick or ban members can compromise the server if their Discord account was to fall in the wrong hands. Save changes to confirm. You can make edits to other roles by selecting them from the side panel. You can also click and drag a role to move the position. Save any changes. Switch to the Enable Community tab from the side. Click Get Started. Check both boxes if they aren't already. The Verified option will ensure that only users with email-verified Discord accounts can join. The Scan Media option will scan content posted in your server to keep it as safe and secure as possible. Click Next. Expand the top drop menu and choose the Rules channel. Select the second drop menu and choose the Community Updates channel. Click Next. Check the top box if it isn't already. This will ensure that members only receive notifications when mentioned. Check the second box if it isn't already. Agree to the guidelines. Finish setup. Select the server description. Write a basic description about your server and NFT project. Copy the description as it will be useful for the next step. You may also want to add it to the notes for future use. Save changes. Switch to the membership screening page via the left panel. Choose to set up membership screening. Click the Enable button to activate your server screening. Select the description box and paste in the server description. Find the server rules section and click Get Started. Enter your first rule. We will include a link in the description with some rules you can copy and paste in. Feel free to edit and modify any rules that you want. The asterisks are there to bold the rule heading and won't be visible on the screening page. Click Add Rule to add new rules. Repeat this process until all of your rules have been added. We recommend copying the rules and pasting them into your notes as they will be useful later on. You can rearrange rules by clicking the dots on the side and dragging them up or down. Most NFT servers also use reaction roles as an extra step of verification. We recommend using the first or last rule to tell new members how to get access to the server. This rule can be called verification or gain access. It is also a good idea to include the channel new users will need to visit for the reaction. This can be done by typing a hashtag, then the channel name. We will be using the rules channel. Also, be sure to include the emoji they will need to click to receive their role. You can add an emoji by pressing the Windows key and full stop. Alternatively, just copy and paste the emoji. Once you have all of your rules set up, click Save. Rules can be edited by hovering over them and clicking the pencil icon. Switch to the Moderation tab on the left. First, you need to set the verification level that is required by your members to send messages in your server. This is recommended to prevent new accounts or bots from spamming in your server. When you are first starting your NFT Discord server, you may want to set this to low or medium. As your NFT project grows in popularity, then we recommend setting the server to high or highest. Scroll down to the 2FA requirement. We recommend enabling this setting so server moderators will be required to have two-factor authentication. This is great for protecting your server, as two-factor makes it harder for a moderator to become compromised. Click the button to enable the feature. You will need to enter your two-factor code to enable the feature. Click Enable 2FA requirement. Save changes and close. Next, we will need to set up the server rules channel. Start by selecting the rules channel and clicking the gear icon. Switch to the Integrations page from the side. Create a webhook. Click on the Discord icon. Locate and open the server image or another image you want to be used for the message. Change the name to your server name, or the name you want the rules message to be sent from. Ensure that the rules channel is selected on the right. Save changes. Copy the webhook URL, then close. Open your web browser and go to the Disco Hook website. A link will be included below. Click the Clear All button at the top. Confirm. Paste the webhook into the webhook URL section. Select the content box. Type Server Rules. Enclose the text with 2 asterisks on either side. This will make the text bold. Choose to Add Embed. Expand the embed. Open the body. Next, enter your rules into the description box. You can copy the rules that we previously set up in the server settings. We recommend giving each rule a heading, then including a basic description below on the next line. For the rule heading, put 2 asterisks on either side to bold the text. Be sure to include a section telling users to verify with the reaction. Usually, this will be the last rule. A link to our rules will be included in the description. Select the color box at the bottom. This is the colored line on the side of the embed. Drag the slider on the side to choose a color. Click and drag on the large palette to choose the specific shade. When you are happy with a color, then highlight and copy the hex code. Paste this code into your notes and be sure to label it. We will need this code for future embed messages. Click off the palette to confirm your choice. Send the message by clicking the button next to the webhook URL. Select the website URL at the top and copy it. Paste the website URL into your notes. You can use this website link to edit your message in the future. Switch back to your Discord server. You will now see your messages in the rules channel. Now, we will need to set up the verification role system. To do this, we will need to invite our first Discord bot. Hover over the message and click the dotted icon. Copy ID. If you don't have this option, then you will need to enable developer mode as we explained at the start of the video. Head to the Carousel Bot website. A link will be included in the description. Click Invite at the top of the page. Select your server from the drop menu. Continue. Adjust the permissions as you'd like. However, it might result in some features not working. Make sure you don't disable the Manage Roles permission. Scroll down and authorize again. Verify that you're not a robot. Authorize. Select the server again. Select Bot Settings if you're not already on it. Remove the question mark prefix by clicking the trash can icon. Keep in mind that if you're watching this video in the future, Carousel Bot may have moved to using slashes as the prefix. Select Commands from the side. Click on Auto Mod at the top. Disable the category. Go through the other categories and disable all of the settings. Switch to Discord. Click the server title and open the settings. Go to Roles. Drag the Carousel Bot role so it's above the member role. I'll be putting mine just under the moderator role. Save changes. Switch to the Members Management tab. Find Carousel Bot and click the plus icon. Give Carousel Bot the bot role. Close. Switch back to the Carousel Bot dashboard. Select Reaction Roles from the side. Create a new reaction role. Select the top drop menu and choose Use ID. Paste the ID we copied into the next box. Use the following drop menu to select the rules channel. Choose to add emoji. Find and select the emoji you want to be used to give the member's role. Typically, the checkmark is used. Click where it says Select Option and choose the member's role. Change the message type to Verify. Create. Switch to Discord and your reaction role verification system will be set up. Click on the server title and select Server Settings. Select Welcome Screen from the side panel. Choose to set up a welcome screen. Expand the drop menu and choose the rules channel. Select the emoji icon. Find the icon that you used for the verification reaction role. Select the box and type a brief explanation on how to get access to the server. Feel free to copy ours. Save. Add another channel. Select the About channel. Click the emoji and select the push pin or an emoji of your choice. Type something about learning the NFT project. Again, feel free to copy ours. Save. Feel free to add more channels. However, we don't recommend having more than 3. Select the text box at the top and give a brief description about your server and NFT project. You can copy this from the description we created earlier for the membership screening. Click Enable when you're done. Close. The next step is to set up the Dyno Bot auto moderation. Head to the Dyno Bot website. A link will be included in the description. Click Add to Server at the top of the web page. Use the drop menu to select your server. Continue. You can adjust these settings if you like. However, disabling some options may prevent some features from working properly. Authorize. Verify that you're a human. Select your server again. You will now be redirected to the Dyno dashboard. Select the prefix you want to use. This is the symbol that will need to be placed before every command. We recommend keeping the question mark prefix to prevent any issues. If you are watching this video in the future, it is possible that Dyno Bot will have switched to using slash commands. If this is the case, then you will need to use a slash as your command prefix on Discord. Choose your time zone if you wish. I'll be leaving it blank. Click Next, then Next again. Press Done. Switch to Discord. Open the server settings. Go to Roles. Drag the Dyno Bot role below the moderator role. Save changes. Switch to the members page. Locate Dyno Bot and click the plus sign. Add the bot role. Close, then switch back to the Dyno Bot dashboard. Select the Modules tab from the left. Enable the Action Log, Auto Mod, and Moderation modules. Disable all other modules. Open the Action Log settings. Action Logs will post details about events or things that are happening in the server. This allows you to keep an eye on what everyone is doing and keep your server clean and safe. Check the box at the top to specify channels. Now, you will need to go through each event and choose if you deem the event as important or not. Set the log channel to mod logs for anything you deem important to know about, such as bans and unbans. Set the channel to general logs for lesser important events, such as when members join or leave. If you don't want to see logs for any specific event, then leave no channel selected. Feel free to pause the video and copy our settings if you would like. Scroll down and you will see the Ignore Channels and Roles options. If there are any channels or roles that you don't want to keep logs from, then select them using the drop menus. We recommend leaving these blank. Switch back to the Modules page on the left. Open the Auto Mod settings. Click Banned Words from the top. Under the box, you will see 2 options: Match any part of the word and Match exact word only. With the Match Any Part option, any message containing the selected word will be banned. For example, if you were to add "ken" as a banned word, then the word "chicken" would also be banned. These are also referred to as wildcard banned words. The exact option will only ban the exact word you have chosen. For most applications, you will want to use the exact option. Choose the ban type you want to use. Select the text box. Write a list of words that you don't want members to be able to use in your server. Be sure to separate each word with a comma. Click Update to add your banned words. You may want to write two lists, a list of exact words and a list of partly matched words. At the bottom, you will see the default, wildcard, and exact banned words. Switch to settings once you're finished banning words. If you don't want to use the default banned words, then check the box at the top to disable them. Expand the drop menu on the right and select the Auto Mod Logs channel. Select the Banned Words drop menu. Here you will see all of the possible mod actions that Dyno Bot can perform when a member breaks the server rules. Delete will delete the message. Warn will warn the user about breaking the rules, then delete the warning after a few seconds. Auto Mute will apply the muted role to a user if they break the rules a specified amount of times. Instant Mute will instantly mute a user when they break the selected rule. Auto Ban will ban a user. You can select multiple punishments for each offense. Go through all of the auto mod settings and set the actions you want to take place when a user breaks the selected rules. Feel free to pause the video and copy our settings if you would like. Next, we need to change the settings for punishments. The settings only apply for offenses that have the selected punishments enabled. Be sure to click Update after changing each setting. The first box is how long a user will be muted or banned for if they break the rules. Set this between 10 and 60 minutes. For the mute and ban violations, set this between 5 and 20. This is how many times the user must break the rules to receive the mute or ban. Next, you have link cooldown. This is how long a user must wait between sending links in the server. Usually somewhere between 10 and 30 seconds is ideal. Max emoji count is how many emojis can be used on one message. We will be setting ours to 5. Finally, mass mention count is the limit of how many users or roles can be mentioned in a single message. Set this between 3 and 10. Next, set the ignored channels and allowed roles. The selected roles and channels will not be affected by the auto moderation settings. For allowed roles, we will be selecting the admin, moderator, and bot roles. You can also customize the punishment settings for each offense. We like to adjust the settings for banned words and Discord invites. Click the gear icon next to the option you want to change. Disable channels and roles are exempted from the auto mod settings. We will be leaving these blank. For banned words, we prefer to set the mute violations to 3, meaning after 3 violations, the user will be muted. We also like to set the mute time to 30 or 60 minutes. This should give moderators enough time to see if the offense is deserving of harsher punishment. Click Save when you're done. Open the Discord invite settings. Set the mute violations to 3 and the mute time to 30 or 60. Save. Repeat this process for any other setting you want to adjust manually. Refresh the page and ensure that all of your settings have been saved. If some settings aren't saved, then you will need to reset them. Click the gear icon and click Save. If you want users to be able to share links in your server, then you may want to remove the All Links punishment, or use the whitelist to choose which links can be shared in your server. To do this, switch to the Link Whitelist page from the top. Select the text box and add a link, for example YouTube. Click Enter between each website URL. Click Save to add your links. The next step is to set up the moderation settings. Switch to the Modules page. Open the moderation settings. At the top, there are several general moderation options you can enable. We recommend enabling the Delete Mod Commands option. Select the Log Channel drop menu and choose the Mod Logs channel. Select the Moderator Roles menu and add the Admin and Moderator roles. Next, you can add protected roles. Members with these roles can't be muted, kicked, or banned by a moderator. Here, you might want to add the moderator, bot, developer, and artist roles. Next, you have lockdown channels. These are the channels that will be locked when the lockdown command is used. When your server has been locked down, all of the selected channels won't be usable. We recommend adding all of the public channels here. Switch to the Auto Punish tab. Here you can create a series of punishments that are implemented after a certain number of warnings. Warnings are given by typing the chosen prefix, warn followed by the username of the offender. The default prefix is ? Select the warnings box and choose how many warnings will need to be given for the punishment to take place. Select the drop menu and choose the punishment you want. We recommend only setting a mute punishment. As your server gets bigger, then you may want to add a kick or ban punishment. Set the minutes to how long you want the user to be muted for. Click Add to create your auto punishment. If you do want to implement a kick or ban punishment, then be sure that the required number of warnings is set relatively high. Switch to the Commands page. Disable all of the roles commands. Confirm. Go through all of the remaining categories and disable all of the commands. Switch to the moderator commands. Open the settings. Select Allowed Roles and add the admin and moderator roles. Save. Go through and enable the commands that you want moderators to be able to use. This is done by flicking the switch. We only recommend enabling the kick and ban options if you completely trust your moderators and their account security. For maximum server security, only enable the clean, mute, moderations, unmute, warn, mod logs, warnings, case, del warn, and lockdown commands. All of these commands can be used in Discord by typing a ? followed by the command name without any spaces. If Dyno has moved to /commands, then you will need to use a / instead of the ? To mute a user, you will need to include the time in minutes that you want the mute to last for. Locking down a server will prevent all the selected channels from being used by your members. These are the channels we added in the moderation settings. You will want to use this command if your server is rated. To end a lockdown, you will need to use the command $lockdown end. You can click the Help button under a command to see how to use it. Switch to the Manager commands. Scroll down and enable the Purge command. The Purge command will delete the recent messages in a channel, with the number of messages being customizable up to 1,000. Click the Settings button under the Purge command. Set the allowed roles. These are the roles that can use the Purge command. I'll only be adding the admin role. However, if you trust your moderators, then you can also add the moderator role. Disable any sub-commands you don't want, then save. In the left panel, you will notice the logs and warning pages. These can be used to monitor what is happening in your server. Switch to your Discord server and your auto moderation will now be enabled. Right-click on any channel and choose to Edit Channel. Highlight the line in the name and copy. Close. Click the plus icon next to the Server Information channel. Select the Announcement channel option. Paste in the line. Add an emoji to the left of the line. Write Announcements to the right of the line. Create channel. Hover over the Announcements channel and select the gear icon. Switch to Permissions. If the permissions aren't synced, then click the Sync Now button at the top. Expand the advanced permissions. Click the plus icon and choose the Carousel bot role. Disable the permission to send messages. Save changes. Click the plus icon again and choose Dyno Bot. Disable the Send Messages permission. Save changes and close. This is just a safety measure. Next, we will be adding the server emojis. Click on the server title and open the settings. Switch to the emoji page from the side. Click Upload Emoji. Locate the image you want to use for your emoji. Select the image and click Open. Highlight the alias. Give the emoji a new name. This is the text used for the emoji in your server. Keep in mind that this is case sensitive. Repeat this with all of the emojis that you want to add to your server. You can have up to 50 server emojis. Close. To use a server emoji, you will need to type : your selected emoji name : Next, we will be setting up the About channel. The same steps for the About channel can be used for the FAQ channel, so we will only be showing you how to do one. We will include a basic template for both in the description. Hover over the channel and click the gear icon. Select the channel name box. Add a space to the end and put your NFT project name. Save changes. Switch to integrations. Create a webhook. Click on the Discord icon. Find the server image and open it. Select the name box and enter the server name. Ensure the About channel is selected. Save changes. Copy webhook. Head to the Disco Hook website. Clear all. Confirm. Paste the webhook in the provided box. Select the content box. Give the message a title. Typically, it would just be About followed by your NFT project name. Enclose the text with 2 asterisks on either side. This will make the text bold. Add embed. Expand the embed. Open the body heading. Enter all of the required information about your server. Select the color box. Choose a custom color or copy-paste the color code in your notes. Send the message. Copy the website URL. Open your notes. Label the link and paste it in. Save. Switch to Discord and your message will now be available. Repeat the steps to create your FAQ channel. When someone boosts your server, Discord will automatically create its own booster role. I'll be showing you how to set up the booster role when you get it. Start by opening the server settings. Switch to roles. Drag the Discord booster role to where our placeholder role is positioned. Save changes. Right-click on the placeholder role and choose Delete. Confirm settings. Select the server booster role. Make any changes you want. You may want to personalize the role name or change the color. Switch to permissions. Clear permissions. Save and close. Right-click the Booster Chats category. Choose to Edit Category. Switch to the Permissions tab. Expand the Advanced Permissions. Click the plus icon and add the server booster role. Enable the View Channels option at the top. Save changes and close. Next, you will want to customize the channels and categories as you would like. Right-click on a channel or category and choose to edit. Select the name box and change it as you like. Feel free to remove the line we have included. If you want to change or edit an emoji, you can either copy it in or press the Windows key and full stop. You can also add a channel topic if you would like. Save changes and close. Repeat this process with all of the channels and categories until the server looks how you want it. If you want to create new channels, then it is best to use the provided categories. You can create a new channel by clicking the plus next to a category. Use the community category to give access to everybody. Use the moderator category if the channel is for mods and admins. If the new channel is for boosters, then use the boosters category. Alternatively, find a channel with the permissions you want. Then right-click and choose Clone Channel. Next, I'll be showing you how to set up a promotions channel. A promotions channel can be used to share Discord invites or video links. If you don't want your server to have a promotions channel, then simply right-click on it and choose to delete. Right-click on the channel and choose to edit channel. Here you will see that slow mode is activated and set to 6 hours. We recommend keeping slow mode enabled to prevent spam. However, you may want to set it to either 1 or 2 hours. Save any changes and close. Head to the Dyno Bot dashboard. You may need to log in again. Select Modules from the left. Open the Auto Mod settings. Open the All Link settings by clicking the gear icon. Set the promotion channel as an ignored channel. Save. Repeat this for the link cooldown and Discord invite settings. If you don't want people sharing invite links, then don't make any changes to those settings. Your promotions channel will now be set up. Next, we will be creating our invite link. Right-click on the Rules channel and select Invite People. Choose to edit the invite link. Set the link to never expire and have no limit. Generate the new link. Copy and close. This invite link can now be sent to users to invite them to your NFT Discord server. This is also the link that you will want to use for social media bios and posts. The link will automatically direct new users to the rules channel so they can verify and receive their role. Be sure to send the link to other project members so they can invite people and join the server. Your NFT Discord server will now be set up and ready to go. We will also show you how to edit the server messages we created for the FAQ, About, and Rules channels. Start by copying the web URL for the message you want to change. I'll be using the About message for this example. Switch to your browser. Paste the link into your browser URL and press Enter. You will now see your message. Make any changes to the message that you want. Switch to Discord once you're happy with the message. Hover over the channel the message is for and click the gear icon. Go to the Integrations page. Open the webhooks. Expand the webhook you used, then copy the webhook URL. Close. Switch back to your browser. Paste the webhook into the provided box. Go back to Discord. Right-click on the message you want to edit and copy the message link. Go back to DiscoHook. Locate the message link box. Paste the message URL in. At the top, the button will now say Edit instead of Send. Click the Edit button and your message will be edited. Copy your new message URL and replace the link in your notes. You will now be able to edit messages in your NFT Discord server.